The entire tennis world had already moved on. The match was over. The headlines had been written. The winner was celebrating. The loser was packing her bags. But then Alexandra Eala opened Instagram, typed just 11 words, and suddenly thousands of people stopped scrolling. Not because of controversy, not because of drama, but because what she wrote revealed something far more powerful. Something that professional sports rarely shows the world anymore. Humanity. Just hours earlier, Eala had suffered a painful defeat at Roland Garros. Not against a stranger. Not against a longtime rival. Not against someone she secretly wanted revenge on. She lost to one of her closest friends. And that single detail changed everything. Because losing hurts. Losing on one of the biggest stages in tennis hurts even more. But losing to someone you genuinely care about creates a completely different kind of pain. A pain that cannot be measured by statistics, rankings, or scoreboards. What happened next would reveal more about Eala's character than any victory ever could. But to understand why the tennis world reacted so strongly, you first need to understand the relationship behind the match. Eala's journey has never been simple. Long before she became one of the brightest names in women's tennis, she was a young girl from Manila chasing a dream that seemed almost impossible. While most teenagers were experiencing ordinary school life, Alex was making sacrifices most people would never fully understand. She left home. She left comfort. She left familiarity. And she crossed continents to pursue something uncertain. Spain became her training ground. The court became her classroom. Every practice session became another step toward a future nobody could guarantee. The road wasn't glamorous. There were lonely hotel rooms, missed family moments, birthdays spent far from home, pressure that few young athletes ever learn to handle. But year after year, she kept climbing, slowly, patiently, relentlessly, until suddenly the world started paying attention. The rankings improved. The victories grew bigger. The expectations became heavier. And before long, Eala wasn't just representing herself anymore. She was carrying the hopes of an entire nation. Meanwhile, another young star was building her own remarkable rise. Iva Jovic. Fearless. Explosive. Dangerous. The kind of player who steps onto a court without intimidation, regardless of the stage or the opponent. On paper, the two looked destined to become rivals. Young talents. Future stars. Competing for the same trophies. Chasing the same dreams. But life had other plans. Because somewhere along the journey, friendship entered the story. And not the superficial kind that exists for social media photos. A real friendship. The kind built during endless weeks on tour. Shared flights. Shared meals. Shared struggles. The kind that only exists between people who truly understand the sacrifices required to survive professional tennis. They practiced together, trained together, played doubles together, laughed together, supported each other through victories and disappointments. And over time, they became something increasingly rare in professional sports. Genuine friends. What nobody realized at that moment was how quickly that friendship would be tested. Months before Roland Garros, fans had already witnessed glimpses of their connection. One memorable doubles victory became a perfect example. The chemistry was obvious. The trust was obvious. Even their social media exchanges revealed a comfort level that couldn't be faked. When one joked about carrying the team, the other immediately fired back with playful sarcasm. Fans loved it because it felt real. There was no media training behind it. No carefully manufactured image. Just two young athletes enjoying each other's company while navigating one of the toughest professions in the world. And then Roland Garros arrived. The clay courts. The pressure. The expectations. The dreams. For Eala, the tournament represented another opportunity to prove how far she had come. For Iva Jovic, it represented the same thing. And then the draw was released. One glance was all it took. The tennis community immediately understood the emotional complexity about to unfold. Eala versus Iva Jovic. First round. One would advance. One would go home. Suddenly, the tournament became much more than tennis. Because how exactly do you prepare for a match like that? How do you spend days practicing while knowing you'll soon be trying to eliminate someone you care about? How do you celebrate with a friend while knowing one of you is about to experience heartbreak? Those questions became even more painful because of what had happened only days earlier. Just before the tournament began, Alex turned 21. For most people, birthdays are spent surrounded by family and lifelong friends. For professional athletes, reality looks very different. Tour life rarely slows down. Tournaments don't pause. Schedules don't care. Birthdays often become ordinary workdays. But this one was different, because Alex wasn't alone. Her closest friends on tour decided to make sure of that. They surprised her. They brought a cake. They gathered around her. And they sang happy birthday. Among those smiling faces was Iva Jovic. The same Iva Jovic who would soon stand across the net trying to end Alex's tournament. Think about that for a moment. One day you're celebrating together, laughing together, creating memories together. And just days later, you're forced into direct competition. Only one dream can continue. Only one name can advance. That emotional contradiction followed both players onto the court. And when match day finally arrived, the atmosphere felt different. The crowd knew the stakes. The fans knew the story. And nowhere was that support more visible than among the Filipino fans who had traveled great distances to watch Alex compete. The energy was impossible to ignore. Every winner from Alex generated excitement. Every momentum shift brought noise. Every point seemed to carry extra emotional weight. For many athletes, that environment would have been intimidating, especially for an 18-year-old standing on the opposite side. But then something unexpected happened. Iva Jovic didn't shrink under the pressure. She elevated. From the opening games, she played with remarkable courage. Clean ball striking, controlled aggression, complete commitment. There was no hesitation, no fear, no emotional distraction. It was as if she had made a decision before stepping onto the court. If she was going to face her friend, she would do it honestly. She would play her absolute best tennis. And that decision began changing everything. Because while the crowd was watching a tennis match, something much deeper was unfolding beneath the surface. A story about friendship, a story about sacrifice, and a story that was only beginning to reveal its most emotional chapter. What happened next would leave both players facing a moment neither of them wanted, but both of them had to accept. The final point had been played, but somehow the most powerful part of the story was only beginning. As the ball landed and the match officially ended, Iva Jovic didn't celebrate wildly. There was no dramatic roar, no emotional explosion, because standing across the net wasn't just another opponent. It was one of her closest friends on tour. And Eala knew exactly what that moment meant. For nearly 2 hours, they had done what professional athletes are trained to do. They competed without hesitation. They chased every ball. They attacked every weakness. They fought for every point as if their tournament depended on it, because it did. But now the battle was over. Reality returned. The two players walked toward the net, and what happened next instantly changed the feeling of the entire match. They hugged. Not the quick handshake fans usually see after a tennis match. A real hug. The kind shared by people who genuinely care about each other. Inside that embrace was everything. The joy of winning. The disappointment of losing. The sadness of ending a friend's dream. The pride of competing at the highest level. The respect that had been built over years of shared experiences. The cameras captured it, but even those images couldn't fully explain what was happening beneath the surface. Because this story was never just about tennis. It was about two young women chasing the same dream while refusing to lose their friendship along the way. What nobody realized at that moment was that the emotional impact of the match was about to grow even bigger. Within hours, social media exploded with reactions. Fans discussed the result. Analysts broke down the statistics. Tennis pages posted highlights from the match. Everything seemed normal. Then Iva Jovic made a post. It wasn't a celebration. It wasn't a victory speech. It wasn't designed to attract attention. Instead, she shared a simple message that immediately caught the tennis world's attention. She wrote that she wished there could have been two winners. Just one sentence. Yet it perfectly captured the impossible situation both players had faced. Because deep down, that's exactly how many people felt. Someone had to lose. Someone had to leave Paris. But neither player deserved heartbreak. The message spread rapidly across social media. Fans shared screenshots. Sports pages reposted it. Thousands of people connected with its honesty. But while everyone was reacting to Iva's words, another question was quietly growing. How would Alex respond? After all, she had every reason to stay silent. Her tournament was over. Another French Open opportunity had slipped away. She had entered the event believing she was more prepared than ever. She had improved her clay court game. She had worked tirelessly. She had genuine hopes of making a deep run. Instead, she found herself packing her bags after the first round. Most athletes would have disappeared from social media for a few days. Most would have needed time to process the disappointment. Nobody would have blamed her. But Eala chose a different path. And that's when the entire story reached another level. Shortly after Iva's post appeared, Alex replied. 11 words. That's all it took. No one I'd rather share the court with. Love you, girl. The response immediately spread across the tennis world. Not because it was controversial. Not because it was shocking. But because it felt incredibly human. There was no bitterness. No frustration. No hidden resentment. Only warmth. Only respect. Only friendship. And suddenly those 11 words became bigger than the match itself. People couldn't stop sharing them. Fans praised her grace. Athletes admired her maturity. Even people who rarely watch tennis found themselves moved by the exchange. Because in modern sports, stories are often built around conflict. Rivalries generate headlines. Arguments create attention. Drama dominates conversations. People expect athletes to dislike each other. Instead, they witnessed something completely different. Two competitors publicly celebrating each other despite the painful result. And that felt refreshing. What made Alex's response even more remarkable was the timing. She wasn't responding after a victory. She wasn't celebrating a personal achievement. She was responding in the immediate aftermath of a defeat that genuinely hurt. That choice revealed something important about her character. It showed perspective. It showed maturity. It showed an understanding that one loss does not define an entire career. The truth is that Alex's journey is still unfolding. At 21 years old, she has already achieved things that many players only dream about. She has climbed the rankings. She has represented her country on the biggest stages. She has inspired millions of Filipinos around the world. And perhaps most importantly, she continues to grow. Yes, the loss was disappointing. Yes, questions about her clay court progress remain. But growth in professional sport is rarely a straight line. Sometimes improvement arrives before results. Sometimes hard work goes unnoticed until months later. Sometimes the scoreboard fails to tell the full story. And that's exactly what happened here. Because while fans focused on the defeat, others noticed something far more valuable. They saw a young athlete responding to adversity with class. They saw someone choosing kindness when bitterness would have been easier. They saw someone refusing to let competition erase her humanity. Years from now, many people won't remember the exact score. They won't remember every rally or every break point. But they will remember the friendship. They will remember the hug at the net. They will remember the Instagram exchange. And they will remember the 11 words that stopped thousands of people from scrolling. Because trophies eventually fade. Rankings eventually change. Records eventually fall. But character lasts. And on a day when Eala lost a tennis match, she showed the world something far more important than victory. She showed who she is when things don't go her way. And sometimes, that's the moment that reveals greatness most clearly.